have a look at how everyone's doing. Evening, everyone. Welcome to another round of Season 4's Esports Championship. It's round 4 now, and tonight we are at track. I think you could say it's a crowd favourite. Everyone seems to love Lago Maggiore. It is the normal layout, and we've got, I think, 36 laps of racing around here tonight.
Yeah, it should be something in that neighbourhood. We've been here once before, obviously. That was debut of Aero racing again today, and also debut of his owl, which we definitely
and his most recent race.
Definitely have not stopped milking in the slightest.
Of course.
But yeah, it is 35 laps of...
35
laps of Lago Maggiore today. Yeah, a lot of new competition and a lot of interesting choices in terms of cars, I guess.
Yeah, what kind of cars do you think is going to be fast here? I think Porsche is going to be very high up there.
I think this is interesting purely because some people have picked fuel-based cars, because I've seen a lot of the Lexuses, especially the guy that just joined in the server. But I would probably put the tyre wear cards in particular. Cars with a really good tyre wear at the top of this track. Purely because this is a reasonably high dead track. They're probably going to be a 2-stop. I know we saw the 3-stop the last time we came here, but that was, I think, more toying with people more than anything else. Obviously, we've had a physics change since then, so things could have changed in terms of how it all works out. Yeah, I think 2-stop probably going to be the norm. So I think the tyre wear cards are going to be the stuff that are going to rise to the top. So
yeah, we've got a lot of Lexuses in here tonight. We've got a lot of GTRs. GTR's currently going the fastest here with Jensen, who's a new Falcon driver. He was put in the GTR, and there's a few others. Obviously, Javi's in the Ferrari, which I don't know how that's going to do here, to be honest. It's quite, it might struggle with the tyres. Slim is in the Lexus. I think the Lexus might struggle on the tyres, even though it's got that good fuel tank. And then we've got a couple of Supras. Aura and Mike look like they've got a lot of pace here tonight, so potentially the Supras one to watch as well.
Yeah, the issue with the Supra is obviously, out of the 3 cards you named, it probably the worst on its tyres.
Yes, it's not good on its tyres, that's true.
So they're going to be at a constant, well, slight disadvantage to everyone else around them. But obviously, drivers like Aura, we've been here before, he knows what he's doing. If he can avoid Carnage lap 1, then there's probably a good chance that he adds to his name today.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. We also not entirely sure how Jensen's going to work out, but being Prima, that's definitely bringing a kind of high reputation with him before he even steps out onto the track. So
absolutely,
we could see a heavyweight battle.
It's definitely ruffled a few feathers in the chat. Heard a comment or two about his pace, but that wasn't very impressive. So yeah, expecting potentially Falcon's first win of the season. So story of the season essentially: Daytona, ERA dominant. Then where were we at round 2?
We were at Deep Forest.
Deep Forest was FGR 1-2, and then in our top list last week it was Arix who got the most points by a comfortable margin. So is it going to be Falcon today?
I mean, there's definitely a chance. Syndra, albeit probably still needs to find a little bit of confidence from what happened a couple of weeks ago. It's definitely not a slouch in terms of a driver. Ahmed can bring a result when he actually turns up, and obviously Jensen seems to be quick from what we can see at this point in time. So it's definitely possible, but again, FGR had 1-2, a 3-4, and then a 1-2. Last week was embroidered on a little bit of controversy, full stop, but I'm not going to be able to go against in a clean race an FGR and a ERA battle again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be so close. Like we said, it was 7/10 that have separated the top 15 in qualifying for every single round of the season so far. So you need to be right up there. So any little mistake, and these guys are struggling in Lobby B, which is what BX had to do for the very first time last week. He's just currently in the pits right now. But he did dominate, quite comfortably won the race in Lobby B. But yeah, not expecting to see someone who's got a Tier 1 championship title battling it out in Lobby B.
Yeah, definitely not. It's probably a one-off, but it does bring back to what I said in pre-season about the question marks for certain teams and certain drivers. But it's been a different one every week so far, realistically, because we've had Zico and Kepler over there in Daytona. Alessandro's having a mad there.
Oh dear.
The track. But yeah, he's had a Alessandro as well. Has been had a one or two absolute stinkers so far this season in terms of qualifying. So it seems to be a new massive name every week that drops out into Lobby B. We'll see if that trend is one to continue on this week as well.
Yeah, I'm just sorting out. I think Xnati's just putting up his stream. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. It's all sorted.
There for Ahmed.
53.4. So we're looking for low 53s, I reckon, to be in the top 10. That's what I'm going to say. But are we going to see a 52? We saw Aura get a 52.9 last time we were here. We saw Hizal get a 52. I think it was a 52.5. So it'll be difficult because even Aura was only just in the 52s. And he was in the GTR, which I reckon is slightly better around here than the Supra in one lap pace. Or it was last time. Maybe it's changed a bit with some physics updates and what you call them? The other ones that we've had. Bop updates.
I'm gonna go and put the poll realistically somewhere around about that 53 flat. And then somewhere, I do think the cutoff will be somewhere between 53.7, 53.8, I reckon. Somewhere in that region. So, not expecting a large field spread, but enough to potentially bring some Lobby B drivers into this as well.
Absolutely. We got Iggy racing in for Aero again tonight, and Owen is racing for Aero, so there too, that could easily come into Lobby A. Lugi's been in Lobby A the last couple of times, so he is in the Huracan, which I think should be pretty good round here. One to get into Lobby A as well. Still waiting for anyone from Pegasus or from Apex or from Project Racing to qualify in Lobby A this season, though.
Yeah, and I still don't see that changing today.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. It's just a slightly different class at this point in time.
Right, so let's just do a check that everyone is in, because we are past 8 o'clock actually, which I didn't realise. So, let me just tell everyone that we're going to be starting soon. What are you laughing at?
It looked like Jensen liked the fact that it was Blackburn, not Bristol Rovers.
Oh, right.
Just continuing our conversation before we started the stream. Got a little chuckle out of me, but yeah.
So let's do the last check that we're just on equal conditions mode. Yes, we are. The most important part of qualifying, because we are racing 2 lobbies under the exact same conditions today, so that we get accurate times and we can sort out the grids for the 2 races. So let's get started with qualifying.
Yep. After today, we'll be 2/3 of the way through what is essentially the elimination phase of the season. Bear in mind that we split in. We joined together for one big lobby after 6 races, with the top 5 teams in the championship all fielding 3 drivers apiece into what would be Lobby A. But
I bet it's BX out again. For some reason, BX is always the first person. Oh no, he's not.
He's not. He's been beat out by a large chunk of the ERA.
Yeah, ERA. Right, dialed it up.
Got out straight away.
Yeah. So ERA Kaza, this is the team captain actually, Sinencock, I think is how you say his name, and he was pretty quick in practice. So I'm expecting another quick ERA driver just to be added to the roster. We've seen everyone doing incredibly quick times all season. A lot of these drivers are pretty close together on track there.
Yeah, they're going to have to give each other a bit of space as they go through this qualifying lap. Look at this, Kaz getting out the way.
Having a little race here. Kaz is trying to, well, actually, I think he's just decided to let these guys go. They're all, well, two of them are his teammates, and one of them is BX trying to get to the head of the pack, which he has done.
Yeah, I can't really blame him for letting his teammates go, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be one to get involved in this mess.
Yes. So let's just do a quick rundown of who we've got racing today. So for ERA are our championship leaders by 20-something points, I think it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. We got Mike back, who was pretty quick in Deep Forest. Jakey, who also has done a couple of races and had bags of pace. And we've also got Kaza, like we said, making his debut. For Arix, we got Javi, who's fresh off his win last week, trying to do the double this week. Alessandro's back. Last time he raced, he didn't get into Lobby A, which was a huge shock. So he's expecting a bit better. And we've got Slim back here, just creating some space for himself in the Lexus. He's back again. So two changes compared to last week. Project Platypus, we've got BX back again. He's going to try and get into Lobby A after winning Lobby B last week. Then we've got Perry, the team captain, is racing once again. And we've got Bada Big making his debut. He's a Tier 1 driver. You might recognize him from the Tier 1 standings. He is making his Project Platypus debut tonight. And the final team is Falcon. We've got Syndra back again. We've got Prima Jensen, who is apparently the hot new favourite to get pole position today. He's was the quickest in practice as well. A Prima driver that they've managed to recruit. And Ahmed is somewhere as well, down here. There he is.
Found him eventually.
Yes. And FGR as well, I forgot to mention. Vigo is the new driver for FGR, joining the usuals, Aura and Ruppy, who've raced every single round this season. He's going to be having a go in the Lexus.
Yeah, and so going back to Falcon, Dino joining Prima recently, using his new connections to get a little bit of help in for the team. So that could be interesting. It ruffled a little bit of feathers with Project Platypus in particular.
Yes, I think there was a little competition for the driver, which is fair enough if he's really as quick as people seem to think he is. But yeah, Falcon won that one. Maybe because they're a little bit higher in the standings, potentially maybe because Dino is on Team Falcon. So now they've got two Prima drivers, a bunch of R-Lab drivers. I don't think Ahmed is connected to anyone, but he is the team captain.
Yeah. I think it was more just because he was able to race rather than anything else today, so that's what he was looking for. But yeah, it's Project Platypus already being at 8. Opened up the door for someone else to try and get him in.
Yes.
Yeah, BX looking to the line now, so he's gonna be the first one to do a lap. So this is a benchmark. It doesn't look like a good benchmark looking at the way they went.
That was very wide on the exit. You can go really wide and get away with it, but potentially not. A 53.3 is a very solid start. Mike 8/10ths down. Jakey 53.7, and Prima, like we were saying, is just the quickest. Another 53.3, hardly ahead of BX. Then we've got Alessandro and Javi popping in third and fourth. Kaza on his debut up into P3 at the start there. Let's just go towards the back and see who else is setting a lap.
Ahmed's the next one.
Ahmed 53.5, he's up into third place.
Yeah, there's one more to the line, there's a couple more. Perry 54.0. Next to the line is Slim 53.6, and the final one to the line for the starting lap 53.6 for Vego as well, who seems to be fairly quick up into 8th, and him, Javi, and Slim all separated by, well, I think that was about half a tenth of a second.
Yes. Now we've got Aura doing the same thing that he was doing last week. He is burning as much fuel as he can to do potentially a one-lap wonder.
He's going to have to get this one on the boil straight on the ball straight away. Realistically, when it comes to it, we've got people coming around now, and they're the 10th and a half in Jensen's lap, so we'll see that potentially drop under the 53.2 mark. So we'll go into the 53.1s as it stands. The BX just in front of him on track as well. A couple of people, I think, are going past Aura, just getting out the way of the rest of the group who are actually on their laps at the moment. It's actually, I think that's that BRFC that's in front of him. in front of Jensen on track right
BX
now?
is the top one, so he's going to be the next one to be setting a lap time here, just coming through the final corner.
Yeah, BRFC afterwards. So BX to the pit lane. Okay, so we might see the pits coming in and into play here now. Then let's see if anyone is finishing their laps. Jensen is. He was quicker last time. Jake is into the pits now as well.
And Javi's in as well.
53.121 is now the new benchmark. About a quarter of a second clear of anyone else.
Yeah, massively quick time there, but everyone else pouring into the pits, not wanting to complete this lap, wanting to put on fresher tyres, including Ahmed. Sindra has just popped himself up into third, though, so we've got a Falcon 1-3-4 currently.
It's not a bad shout. Here comes Vego, who has forgone the pits. To the line he goes. 52, 53, 53.4. 2/10 quicker, up in the fourth.
Yep. Oh, everyone's having to back out. I think Vigo might be on an in-lap here anyway. So I don't think there's going to be many people currently on track. Let's see if Aura's actually started his hot lap. No, he's gone into the pits to change his tyres after one lap of extreme fuel burning there. Rookie's out of the pits.
Going to have one good go at this.
Yeah.
We'll see whether or not he's going to be able to put himself into the 52s, because that's realistically where you're going to have to be now to be on pole. Still think there's potentially time in Jensen's time in particular.
Jensen's still out. Let's see if he's going to be improving on this lap, if he's pushing flat out.
Be interesting. I think it probably pit stop time for him.
This is the only opportunity to pit, so I think this is going to be an in-lap for him as well.
I'd be very surprised if the opposite is the case. We're about to find out. Yeah, he's 2.5. He's about 3 times down, so this has to be the pit lap.
I'm just going to have a quick look at the other lobby and see if...
He should get one more go at this then.
Yeah. Iggy is currently fastest there with a 54 flat. So there's a big gap in pace between the lobby A and lobby B at the moment.
9/10 of a second between the two lobbies, between Jensen and Iggy. That is a lot of time, and that probably means that like the top maybe 10, 11 drivers at the moment are going to be safe in this lobby.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look in a minute just to see whereabouts that 54.0 would put him.
Yeah, let's have a look now, because everyone else has just started their lap. So we're talking 9/10 off here. So we're top 10 are all pretty safe from anybody in lobby B. Perry. Yeah, and it'll be Perry, who is setting a very similar time to Iggy, which is pretty good. Iggy in the 4GT though, which is probably pretty horrible around here.
Oof. Yeah, don't even have to tell me about it. Still remember that 2-hour endurance race we did, a competition we had where we had to drive the 4GT around here. That was a nightmare.
Yes.
It was not the fun. There was not a fun time in the slightest. So I can imagine his pain in this one. Would still be enough to put him in lobby A for now, though.
Yep. I think him and Lugi might be favourites from lobby B to join lobby A, but we haven't seen too many from lobby A jump over. It seems pretty settled what the order is, apart from Spider and the odd Aero driver.
Yeah. It does appear that these guys in this lobby right now are slightly a cut above the rest. BX is currently a 10.5 up.
Yeah, he needs to find less than a 10th, and he would take this position off of Jensen. If he nails this last couple of sectors, sorry, then he will get on provisional pole. One thing is for sure, he's definitely qualifying in lobby A today.
It would take something miraculous for him to not qualify.
Here we go, he is purple.
There you go, one more sector left on his lap.
Now he struggled in the final corner previously.
Yeah, we are effectively in last runs. That didn't look too good. He made a little bit too much on the grass there. We'll wait and see how that affected him. Goes around the final corner now, looking to beat that 53.1 that currently sets everyone apart. From Jensen to the line, 51, 52, 53,
he's done it.
53.0.
Now the times are going to start coming in. Mike improved, but he's still not in the top 8. Jakey, the same could be said for him. These are all pretty good 53 times. Javi steers 7th.
Yeah, 53.64, I think that was from Javi. We're going to the line now with Rookie. Here's the next one over. What's he going to do? 54.2. Needs to be a bit quicker than that. Ahmed to the line next is a 53. Not improved. His qualifying is over. Perry, 53.8. up into 11th. Slim gets into 5th with a 53.5. He'll take that. Aura's... Oh!
Oh! Are
Oh,
we...
no!
Oh my god. Are we going to see Aura in Lobby B here? He hasn't set a time. And this time he's going to have to set... This is going to be his time with a second penalty added onto it. Or is it just going to be completely deleted?
I think
because it's
deleted.
come after the penalty point. So this is going to be an invalid lap.
I think it's deleted. I think Aura's in Lobby B.
Aura is definitely last in Lobby B.
Oh, we were talking about he had to be on the ball. He's picked up the penalty at the worst time.
This
Probably would
is
have rather have served it 'cause he's 4
absolutely
tenths clear.
massive for the championship.
And look, he's going to go over the line now. He was 4 tenths clear. Purple,
This would have been
it's
a 52.5. He'd have got pole by half a second. He'd have matched Hizal's time when Hizal raced here 2 seasons ago in pole position. But it doesn't count because he's got this penalty. He invalidates his lap and he is down at the bottom of the 30 drivers and not at the top.
And your Lobby
still got
B
some
winner
drivers
for
on track
today
here.
is...
BX is trying to actually beat his own time. I thought it was completely over there. We've got an ERA driver just ahead of him. I think that might have been... It was either Jakey or Mike. We'll see if there's an improvement in lap time. It doesn't look like it. What about BX? He's 6 seconds down. So a bit of a... It didn't matter, but that is pole position for the first time this season for Project Platypus, and it's BX Royal who gets it. Huge performance there. Huge improvement from what we've seen this season from Project Platypus. Manages to unseat the Prima driver, the new guy, Jensen in second, another Falcon driver, SBS in third, and Vigo on his debut in 4th place as well. So 2 drivers on the debuts in the top 4 here.
Yeah, and it's mad. You know how we were talking beforehand whether or not it would continue to take a massive scalp. How about arguably the biggest scalp of them all?
That's massive. That is crazy. We've never had that before. Right, qualifying needs to end. Come on. It's because Sidra's in the pits. So that'll end very shortly and I can start doing my magic and seeing who actually is in Lobby A and who's in Lobby B. The cutoff might be around about 13th place. So Ruppy and Bada Big might be in a little bit of trouble. 53.09.
I was not expecting how that ended. That 1 second time penalty came at the worst possible time. Well,
that's the risk you take. That's the risk you take when you only give yourself 1 lap to do it.
Yeah. One thing for sure, however, I think we know who wins Lobby B today.
With a faster time than Lobby A, potentially.
Rip to everyone in Lobby B, you're not winning the race.
Also, Javi down in 8th in qualifying. It might even be lower, depending on what Lobby B did. So, not as strong as last week, it looks like, for the Ferrari driver.
No. Bada Big also potentially out as well.
Look at this. So, everyone's in the 53s here, apart from 2.
The interesting conundrum that's now approached us is that 3 of the ERA lads are in this lobby, and we cannot say the same for FGR, who might be about to lose 2 different drivers to Lobby B. So, yeah, qualifying's still going on. They're just waiting for everything to, the timeout to happen in Lobby B. But yeah, the cutoff time, it looks like Lobby A's fastest was a 53.707, which would have been good enough for it's P10 on the grid for for Iggy. Oh no, Iggy's just done a 53.707. Oh no, that was Iggy. So he's going to qualify in the top 10. No one else from Lobby B will be in the top 10 by the looks of it. Yeah. So let's just do this. Fair enough. Matty being Captain Obvious in the Discord when I'm trying to get how Aura got his penalty.
Oh, what? That's why he was quicker? Is that what they're saying?
No, it's just Matty being just stating the obvious that we just watched.
Okay.
And I was trying to ask what happened to Aura. Yeah, but yeah.
So only the top 5 beat Bada Big's time. So Badabig's definitely in Lobby B. It looks like Ruppy's definitely in Lobby B from what I can see.
Yeah.
And Aura. So Iggy, Lugi, and Owen are the only ones being promoted from the looks of it. But I will finish typing everything up to double check because I accidentally took a second off Asseldor's time last week. There we go, Lobby.
Absolutely insane qualifying session here. It definitely definitely continued. The theme of the season has definitely continued. It's taken one massive name into Lobby B every week. Obviously had Zico and Kepler week 1. I believe Alessandro was the big name at Deep Forest. And then obviously last week was BX. And then now Aura.
Yeah.
Somehow don't think we're topping that in terms of how big of a name we're going to be putting into Lobby B at some during this season.
No, that's crazy. But you know what? When okay, I'll tell you a story. I started doing the fuel burning in qualifying for Monday League after I saw Hizal doing it because I was like, yes, this is worth it. And I qualified last on my first race of last season doing it because I messed up my one and only lap. So it's a similar thing. You take the risk, but you at least want a banker lap. You want a banker lap.
Yeah.
So
it's the risk you run. It definitely is. If you're gonna play the game, if you're gonna play with fire, then the fire is probably gonna burn you eventually.
absolutely. So the last person to qualify in Lobby, there is quite a big gap. So Pole in Lobby B is a 54-1. P15 is a 53-8. So there is quite a big gap in between the top 15 and the bottom 15 here. But Auto Ration is getting, I think, his second Lobby B pole position of the season here. So he just can't get into Lobby A. He's never got into Lobby A.
He's just the 16th quickest driver.
He's just always pretty good in Lobby B.
Yeah.
So Aura lining up P14 in Lobby B tonight.
It will be arguably the biggest surprise I think we see in esports if Aura doesn't end up.
His bad luck continues, man.
I love how we were saying beforehand that there is a chance that Aura might add to his win list now that he's got one in ALR, and then this happens.
Yes.
I had a comment that is well and truly aged like milk. That's a certain.
So Perry's in Lobby A, Owen's in Lobby A, Iggy's in Lobby A, Javi's only lining up in 8th place, 3 Arix boys in the top 10, 3 ERA boys in the top 15, but the highest one is 7th, 3 Falcon drivers in the top 6.
Yeah, you said it beforehand. It might be the big day for Falcon. If I could remember what I was actually going to say. Yeah, it's gonna be the big day, potentially the big day for Falcon, and that would make it the fourth team in 4 different weeks that have like the massive points haul.
Absolutely, they're still not far away. The top 5 are all close enough that when double point starts kicking in, one solid performance as a team could put you straight up into first place at the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's why we have the double points at the end of the season, just to throw that 1 or 2 curveballs that potentially might just hand someone else the title.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you still have to make it to that dance first before you even get the chance to do that. And that's what we figure out through these first 6 weeks. And
yeah,
we know for a fact there's going to be one big team in terms of drivers that full shot. It's going to be very interesting to see who that team actually is. This might be the week that we see that top 5 kind of split away, because it is a decently sized gap between Project Platypus and Spider right now. But as of what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure it's just Lugi in Lobby A for Spider this week, and Project Platypus obviously on pole.
Yeah, Ridwan in 5th, Ramster in 8th, and Lugi in 11th. 11th in Lobby A. So yeah, you're right. Only one. So that's the first time Spider's only had one in Lobby A.
Yeah. And then you obviously
come
got
on.
Project Platypus, the team that they're currently attempting to catch as pole. So good luck. You're gonna need something special at this point to try and hash that kind of gap down. And this is not how you start it. That's a certain with the 3 weeks left, essentially. We got Tokyo next week, which is going to favor the higher speed cars on the grid. That's a certain. Your Supras should be bang on point next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this going to reset, or what's going on here?
This is what happens when Ross has the lobby open.
I'm blaming GT. Let's wait and see what happens. Hey! Hey? There we go. Right, while they're all just entering, I will be right back in 1 minute.
It's insane that Aura as a whole, 52-5 in the Div Lobby B. That is absolutely just... I don't know if that's more heartbreaking than anything else for Aura at this point. Is Ridwan here? Was it in my lobby? I'll have to ask Ross something when he gets back, I guess. I think he might have put the wrong person in. I'll wait and see. But yeah, as a whole in this race, you've got 3 RA drivers, a Spider, 3 Falcon, I think it's 2 Project Platypus, an Aero GT, a couple of Aero GT guys actually, which is a good sign for them if they try to... Ross has done something, Ross has got the wrong name. Ross, you've got the wrong name for someone. Apparently Ridwan has this. You've put Ridwan as 5th, even though he hasn't set a lap.
Well, who was 5th then?
Mainly because he wasn't here.
Well, just ignore that then. Who did I make a mistake? Was there enough people in that lobby?
I just assume.
Oh no, there was only 13. You know what? I entered. I'm getting Ramster, Ryan, and Ridwan mixed up. Anyway, time to set the grid.
Jake, it'll be 2 minutes apparently. Cause
That's fine. We've still got to do all this. So BX on pole. He got plenty of poles last season, didn't he, BX?
I believe so. Definitely a couple of them. I'm just trying to think of them. I'm pretty sure it would be him or Tobias in Tokyo. Alessandro got it when they won in Alsace. They definitely didn't get at the end of the season in Bathurst or Monza. That was atrocious for Project Platypus.
Yeah.
Those days. So it couldn't have been it was probably a couple, but they're not coming to the top of my head at this point in time. Probably Blue Moon. Someone else just dropped out.
I think it might have been Jakey. Oh no, it's Alessandro's left the room.
Yeah, Hurricanes ask if Aura's about to set the biggest winning margin in ALR esports history. Yes.
Let's see who he's up against. So first of all, I know everyone's probably wanted to watch Lobby B to see how quickly he hits the front, and I don't blame you if you want to do that. But he has to pass 12 drivers because I invented one. Before he even gets to the front, and then he's got to build a lead. And a lot of these guys have won Lobby B races before. They know what they're doing, and some of them are pretty quick. He's going to have Rupee up in P3 helping him out as well.
I give him 2 laps.
Jakey was 13th, so we got Jakey Perry Where's Mike?
And then
Mike's last.
Alessandro's about to come in here.
Alessandro's just going to be joining. Plays Havoc when you're trying to set the grid and people are joining and entering and unentering. Okay. So, BX on pole, then to the two Falcon boys. Then we've got FGR, Arix, Falcon again, ERA. Only top 7 for ERA. Javi, Iggy for Aero, Lugi. So, actually, 2 of the Lobby B drivers. Oh no, we need to put Alessandro up there ahead of Iggy. Lugi, Owen, P12, Jakey, 13, Perry, 14, Mike, 15. There we go. So, I'm going to say starting soon, because we are there. We're organised, everyone's in, everyone looks like they are ready. Hopefully Jakey... never mind.
Alessandro left the room again. Yeah, it's. I would like to point out that it's 45 points between Falcon and ERA. And whilst they both have three people in this lobby, one has 3 in the top 6. The other one doesn't have one that features in the top 6. So there's a good chance that 45-point gap might come down quite considerably today.
Yeah.
And then even when you bring it into FGR, who are currently in second, 26 points back from ERA, they've got what? 1 driver in here who starts in 4th and then 2 in lobby B. So there is a massive opportunity for the likes of Arix and Falcon today if they are going to take this by the scruff of the neck and put drivers in very high positions.
Yeah. FGR have to split their eyes in 2 to watch their drivers today.
It's very uncommon that they've had to do that so far this season.
Absolutely.
Especially when Aura is the other one.
Yes.
It's one of the ones in lobby B. That's not... I don't think we will ever see that again. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, if he keeps doing this, these one-lap wonders, it will eventually happen again. You need one banker lap. Is it even worth it for a 10-minute qualifying? I don't know. How many tenths do you think you gain doing that?
I'm going to say yes, purely because he set a 52.5 with the penalty.
Yeah, true.
And whilst we don't know the level of how much he cut, where he cut, and how much he would have gained from the cut, I'm going to take a guess. Just a guess, and this is going to sound like Captain Obvious, that he would have been on pole anyway.
Well, yeah. Even if he gained like 1 or 2 tenths with whichever corner cut he took, that would still have been a comfortable pole position. So, who do you think is going to win then? Let's do some predictions whilst we're waiting for Alessandro to join. Got BX on pole, Prima in the Nismo in second, Syndra in the Gen X, which is going to start probably quicker than both of them in 3rd place. But it's a short run to turn 1.
I'm looking at this, right, and they're all fairly similar. The thing I'm going to go with, I'm going to go Jensen and win purely because of the teamwork that's available for Falcon today with that 2, 3, and 6.
So
and
true.
We say this a lot, right? In particular, I say this a lot. That teamwork absolutely matters in this kind of championship. There is no drivers. You're not out for yourself. You have to work as your team to get into certain places and make sure if there is a place you can get, you get it.
Yeah.
Because it might come back to bite you later on if you don't. So you can't be out for yourself. So I would assume that Syndra and Jensen is just going to work together to wipe the X off the face of the earth at the start here. Not physically, but in terms of drive off into the distance. Make sure BX doesn't really get a chance.
Oh, here he comes. Thank God. I was just about to start messaging. Yeah, I think if BX can keep Jensen behind, I think that he could control the race. That's going to be the big problem for him. And Jensen's going to be putting piles of pressure on as well, I reckon. Right, let's have a look at the grid order. Alessandro did just get slotted into 9th. So, one last check to make sure that this grid is right after everyone's joined and not
Well, it seemed like they started in the second lobby and he's already sixth after lap 1.
Oh, six. That's crazy. Okay, Slim also. Shout out to Slim, top Arix driver in the top 5.
Yeah, they got Alex,
Kaza on his debut, the top ERA driver. Vigo on his debut, the top FGR driver. And
yes.
Jensen on his debut, the top Falcon driver. So,
however, that one was kind of expected.
Yes.
That was the only one we kind of expected, admittedly. But it is the one we expected.
Right, now we can finally get going. As long as, last time I said this, Alessandro left the lobby.
I'll say, let's get started before it involuntarily kicks.
We are actually 10 minutes earlier than last week.
That's fair. Fair enough. It's I mean, to be fair, we did have what, about 15 attempts of someone trying to join the lobby. Fairly similar to this, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Last week at Autopolis.
Right, let's do it.
Alright, let's go. You alright? Let's get this underway as we continue to develop this
someone just spun there.
We will see what the chances are, what is about to unfold here with the red lights about to come on. You've got BX at the front in the Lexus, and you've got Jensen beside him. I believe it's the GTR that he's in.
Both of them on softs. Everyone looking like they're on softs. Every single driver is on soft tyres.
Is going. Yeah, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, away we go! Down toward turn 1. BX has not got off to a good start compared to Syndra. They're in third. As they head down toward turn 1, BX still has the lead for a split second. He's managed to get himself clear with Jensen in second. It looks like Syndra's still in third. There's a little bit of banging between the cars there as everyone still manages to survive through turn 1 and turn 2.
Someone span.
A slide. Oh, Lukey's gone in the background.
Lukey
That's
has
the
gone.
Spider. You can tell that colour of that livery from a mile away.
Let's see what happened.
I think it was grass. There was also a slide from Slim at the front.
Oh, contact with Iggy.
Yeah, he got tagged by Iggy. Oh, and now he's cleared off at the back with everyone else significantly further ahead. So Jensen and Syndra got themselves in a nice position, second and third at this point in time. Vigo's still in fourth. Javi has moved up from into fifth from 8th off the start. Ahmed in 6th still. Nothing changed there. Alessandro into 7th. Definitely wasn't where he was at the start of all this.
He was 9th at the start, so he's gained a couple. Down 1 for Kaza, down in 8th, and Slim with a terrible start down in 9th, so caught up in probably some of the bunching up that we saw. But he's trying to get Kaza here into the hairpin, everyone's nose to tail. No one going for a move here. Slim thinking about the outside. And he's, yeah, that is what's going to happen if you kind of aren't fully alongside around the outside. Slim loses 3 positions, make that 4 because Perry is coming alongside as well with another ERA driver. Mike along, yeah, Slim's off as well. He loses that other position, so down to 14th. Terrible start for Slim at the start.
Yeah, and well, yeah, Slim got caught up earlier, half slid his car in turn 2. And this time, yeah, he just got caught around the outside there. We're trying to go around the outside of the space that didn't really exist on the exit of the corner. So at the end of the day, it's about self-preservation. He could have just stuck behind Kaza there. Probably would have got him in a corner or 2. He tried to go early, and well, it's definitely backfired. That's for certain. And well, now Javi and Alessandro are going to have to do some heavy lifting for Arix for the foreseeable future in this race.
Yeah. Shout out to the Aero boys in P10 and P11 at the moment. They've got a good opportunity of working together here.
Yeah.
That's a Ford GT and a Porsche.
Yeah, they've also got 2 ERA drivers directly in front of them, so if they're going to work together, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to be able to achieve, because both those teams are going to be counteracting one another through this.
Was that a corner cut? Oh, yeah, straight away with a half-second penalty. This is going to be served next lap because it's coming a bit too...
No, it won't. It's coming now.
Is it? Okay.
It's coming down, slowing down on the top of his name. It's coming now. He's going to lose out to Jensen. He's going to lose out potentially to Syndra as well.
Here comes Syndra.
Yep, Jensen hits the lead of the race now. Sindra to the outside, potentially in the same boat as what Slim was a minute ago. But no, BX just cuts that door. Very, slams it shut as soon as he possibly could there to stop Sindra gaining as well. The issue is now, there's one Falcon through, and that was what we made at the point we made at the start of this, at the end of qualifying, the start of this race, is that BX couldn't afford to do that, and that cut was, quite frankly, as clear as day.
It was. Yeah, and serves it straight away, loses the lead to Jensen, which is exactly what we were saying he couldn't afford to do, and now he's under huge pressure from Sindra as well.
Yeah.
Oh, a very good final corner there for BX. Maybe the dirty air getting in Sindra's way, but here comes V-Gub. That slight mistake might result in a bit of a dive into turn 1, and Alexis versus a Gen X here. Sindra goes deep!
I was about to say, there is going to be a dive, but it isn't coming from the person you think it is. Sindra just missed his breaking point there. He's got away with it, though. He got away with it, stayed in third, didn't hit BX in front, so all's well that ends well, I guess.
Now Javi's caught up to the back of them as well. They had a little gap with Javi, but all of this, a lot of them choosing to go very wide on that corner, which you can do. It does make your tyres slightly dirty, though.
Yeah, it's my...
Let's see what's going on a bit further down.
It's the one line in GT that I actually pick an issue with.
Well, that it doesn't penalise you.
No, it's more the fact that if you go side by side through that corner and you're having to let people back on the track, etc. But there's a Monday issue. Never getting this that kind of issue here because everyone follows roughly the same line.
Yes, and we do have short, not strict, light penalties on here, which is why BX only got a half second. He'd have definitely lost P2 if we had strict corner cutting penalties on in esports.
Yeah, that's definitely a certainty there. He would have got one, maybe 1.5 even. Depending on how strict those corner cuts are, I'm not entirely sure how it usually is on strict penalties, but it definitely isn't light, that's a certain. Luki tailed off at the back. He is slowly but surely catching up.
He's catching up.
Tailed off.
He's still in the hunt, that's the main thing. He can get a top 10 result from that if he has the pace for it. BX starting to catch up Prima. It was 1.6. He's gained 0.3 of a second in this third and final sector.
Yeah. It doesn't. It is just the issue that he had to avoid, wasn't it? Now that Jensen got that second gap, I don't really see a way back for BX. But it's gonna matter. It's proved us wrong plenty of times before. Perry round the outside of turn 1 and Owen. Can he get it?
What an overtake! That was fantastic.
That's a nice little move.
As late as possible. Braked even later than you usually would because he wanted to take a wide journey through the corner, and he managed to hold the speed, which Owen had to completely let off to because of the tighter angle, and that is how Perry got the position around the outside. Now Owen's going to try and come back at him though. Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised if he does if he tries something here. There you go, looks to the inside, backs out.
Oh,
interesting. Oh,
looked like he could have carried a lot more speed through there, but had to back out to avoid Perry.
Yeah, he backed out. Maybe he just didn't want to half-hearted that overtake. That's a bit of a slide, just about controlled. That could have ended in disaster there if he had kept the throttle down.
Here comes Slim.
Fire from Slim. Yeah, I'd say that he's under fire from Slim. Also, Slim's got back ahead of Mike, which I'm not entirely sure what happened with Mike through all this.
He's just behind, so he could potentially. Oh, he's a little bit too far back to benefit, unless Owen takes the corner. Really straightforward overtake at the end there for Slim.
Yeah. Slim learnt his lesson, I think is the way we can put that one. Iggy and Perry going at each other. We saw these two have fairly similar qualifying times for a large period of the session. Perry
here he comes, very late. He's going to stick it.
I think.
Well, unless Iggy can hold it, he's going to try a little bit of a switchback. I don't think it's going to work out for him.
Yeah,
and it looks like Perry's got that one. A little bit further up, though. Oh, I thought he was... No, he's all out of shape. That's it now for Perry. He can try and drive away if he has the pace for it. Here's Kaza. He's going to let his teammate through, even though he's got a half-second penalty. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe to minimise the half-second because he'll be closer to Alessandro.
Could be interesting, that one. He's got the half-second. which means we're not entirely sure where he cut, but it would have been hard to have been after the S's on the lap. The S's usually make you serve it on the spot.
Oh, someone's spun!
That's Vigo! That's Jeff.
Vigo has spun. Let's see what happened to Vigo.
Goes round, goes wide.
Loses it.
Oh, he just lost it.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And he's got engine damage.
You could do that line 100 more times, and I don't think it would shift that car like that. Any of them.
Yeah, and he is in last place now. That is heartbreaking. The bad luck for FGR continues. He is now 6 seconds off the back of Lugi, who has joined the leading pack, who are all still bunched together. So he can still, like we said with Lugi, get a strong result here.
Well, he definitely has the pace, so he's now just got to focus on getting himself back in through the next 30 laps. But yeah, Jensen, as we said before, he's letting Jensen get through with the worst possible scenario. And he is
Jensen's
really off into the distance.
Jensen's looking very comfortable. He's got the fastest lap of 53.2. BX's fastest lap is a full half second slower, and that is why he's built this 2.2 second lead. Syndra keeping BX honest, only 0.8 of a second down, but they're all still close enough for anything to have a big impact on the running order. Javi up into P4 now, even though he's qualifying. He qualified in 8th and now he's up to 4th.
Yeah, after Vigo's spin on the last lap, he was P5 prior, so he's obviously going to take that position. He's not going to be complaining whatsoever, because if he can get himself onto the back of this Genesis and start asking some questions, and it could be the way that he ends up on the podium here instead of one of the Falcon boys potentially.
And just to point out, Syndra's tyres are a lot more worn than Javi's, so this could come back to Javi and give him a chance of getting another podium.
Yeah, also Ahmed in 5th right now. It's a 135 for Falcon, which would be an absolutely massive day in their season. It would be an absolutely crucial day in their season.
Yes.
Probably set them up for a very good line at week 7 and an 8th berth in the next week or so.
Oh, looks like we've got some action a little bit further down. Iggy's in 9th. Kaza's down in 10th. Something's happened to Kaza. Let's see if that happened a little bit too far. Yeah, he's down in 10th already there.
It looked like Lugi was overtaking someone in the background.
It did. Lugi is ahead of Mike.
Still going at it, that's why. Look at it. All the way down the straight. Mike and Lugi are going at it. Real question is whether or not there's going to be a move. Lugi comes over to shut the outside line. Yeah,
Slim's trying to get Jakey ahead as well with Owen in. So let's join this. It's not Jakey, it's Kaza. So Kaza down from a really solid qualifying. He's down in 12th right now.
Yeah, just slowly dropping back. Owen's going
having to go
back
defensive
to the
here.
Inside. Potentially switchback opportunity
no.
Here. He could have lined it up. He didn't quite line it up.
Yeah, Kaza couldn't line it up there. Owen placed his car perfectly. Otherwise, Kaza would have got a really good exit.
Yeah. And so we've got...
Oh, Owen's nearly lost it. And into the pits comes Kaza. He's decided to try and get an undercut on everyone. This might be a 3-stop. That's really early.
That is very early in a 35 lap race, lap 6. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here, because usually the plan for most drivers is to go to the end of this first tank, because obviously we start on half tank in esports, so they just try and take it half tank here, and then after that they'll veer their strategies in different directions.
Here comes Javi.
Going to the inside here.
Having a little look. Syndra actually gives him too much space there. Absolutely too much. He should have shut the door. Javi is going to try and go around the outside of the next corner. This is going to actually potentially work out well here for Falcon, because if Javi even gets Syndra through these corners, he's losing a lot of time going side by side, and he's going to try and stick it. Enough space is being left.
He got it.
And that was a great overtake. Once again from Javi. He's made some fantastic overtakes this season. Through comes Ahmed on his teammate.
What a move!
And
he could get happy as well.
Because those two were side by side, they were both slow, and Ahmed's just said, thank you very much. I'm going to take that position. We need to see that whole thing from Ahmed's point of view. Look at them side by side. He's just placing his car absolutely perfectly there around the outside. And that's 2 positions in 1 straight.
And everything is back to what they were, essentially.
Yes.
Well, actually, that changed really.
And here
quickly.
comes
Javi got
Alessandro as well.
back. I'd like to point out that Javi got back on Ahmed immediately.
Oh, he did. Hold on, we can see that. Hold on, we can see that. Oh no, he's already ahead. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't get that. But now we're in a Eric sandwich with the Falcon boys here.
And
Ahmed
in comes
got a
Sindra.
really nice run.
So Sindra not feeling comfortable on those tyres. Perry promoted to 7th as a result. Iggy up into 8th, has dropped away from Slim and Owen. Slim is ahead of Owen. Lugie's up to 11th but got a second penalty, which is likely to drop him back behind Mike. Mike's struggling a bit more tonight to keep up with the tail of the pack than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and the super isn't going to help either.
And there's Vigo recovering. He was 6 seconds off the back. Now he's 3.5.
Yeah. And he's just got to run his own race now, Vigo, because of the mistake he made earlier. He's just got to keep himself honest, get as far along this race as he possibly can, maybe earn a couple of positions. Damage limitations, I think, is the best way of describing it now for Vigo for this race.
Oh, absolutely. He's and then these two are the early pitters. Mediums for Kaza, softs again for Sindra, so he is trying to leapfrog everyone with this early pit stop.
So Sindra, it's almost certainly a free stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no debate about that one. Kaza's given himself an option there. There might be potentially medium to the end, albeit unlikely. But going on to the second set of softs this early on, definitely free stop territory.
Yeah. Ahmed's doing pretty well. He's caught up to the back of Javi now. Javi having those battles, and actually Ahmed getting Javi momentarily, but he's still sticking with Javi now that Javi's got the clear air.
Yeah, and also with Alessandro behind now as well, with the fact that he's been released from Sindra, is there a chance that he might be able to pull himself close enough to this battle to realistically give them an extra boost there with Javi and Alessandro beside each other?
In comes Jakey. So ERA have a very different strategy by the looks of it. Coming in early, I think everyone else is probably going to make the full tank exhausted, so they're going to get an undercut, but it's going to come back to bite them potentially later in the race.
It could be interesting because Lago doesn't have a long pit stop. It's notorious for not having a long pit stop. But at the same time, these guys that have stayed out, their tyres are now below the 50% mark on a large portion of some of these cars. So those times are going to start dwindling sooner rather than later. So I guess the free stops is just to essentially pump out as many laps on great tyres as you could possibly get.
Yeah. So Jakey put in quite a bit more fuel, but he still crucially gets out ahead of Slim. Jakey's on the mediums as well, and Slim's on the soft, so Slim really cannot afford to waste any time here getting past.
No, he can't.
Sindra's already gone off into the distance there. You can see approaching the next corner. Now, late move for Slim.
Here he comes.
And again, the door's being completely left open by the other driver, which is very fair, but he's going to lose it now. Or is he?
Or is he? Because the inside line here, we saw it with a potential move with Javi earlier on.
Slim just gets it. Yeah, he hung it around the outside beautifully. That's the difference in the mediums and the softs for you. And Slim was probably aware that Jakey's on the mediums and knew that he could go for that kind of move fairly comfortably. And yeah, damage limitation there. He can try and continue getting the undercut on some of these other guys.
Yeah, we know that Sindra's also on the soft as well. So those two might... it's going to be very interesting to see how those two race unfolds from here. Javi 1.4 off of BX, 9 tenths ahead of Ahmed, but Ahmed also only 9 tenths ahead of Alessandro now.
Yeah, Alessandro keeping up with this pack. Then there's a gap of 2.6 down to Perry and Iggy, who's just outside of a second. Lugi in the pit. It looks like Vigo was in the pit as well. So maybe 1 or 2 more laps left for these guys.
Oh, Iggy having a little bit of a snap there. Yeah, it would be probably 12, I reckon. I don't know if you're going to get 2 laps out of that tank, actually. It might be the end of this one. Which could make the next set... definitely could make the next set of pit stops very interesting in terms of what they choose, because if it's 11 laps for a half tank, 22 for a full. So realistically, you could get the 12. There's on the fuel level, you'd only have to fuel one more time.
Yeah, but the tyre wear's too high, I think, round here. We might see one person try it. We always see someone try the one stop. Hizal did the 3 stop when he won here.
Yeah, and
but it didn't look. It didn't look. Yeah, or it did the 1 stop and he finished second. So we say the 2 stops probably optimal, but what do we know?
Clearly not a lot. But it has been what, half a year since that race now. That was season 2, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was a couple of seasons ago. I don't think half a year, was it?
It would be what? We do 4 seasons in a year's span, roughly.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
With how it's fallen with Nations Cup and that as well. So that's how I work it out. So it's roughly, it's a very rough estimate, but it's about half a year, I think, since the last time we went to this track.
BX and Javi and Ahmed in the pits. Prima Jensen going around one more, but he does have a 6-second lead to play with. Everyone else coming into the pits by looks of it. Mike is the only one who's actually staying out, so he's going to get promoted up to second. Sindra is the highest. Oh, Alessandro's disconnected. It looked like he had some problems. He had to restart his PlayStation, so that's going to be P15 for Alessandro when he was right up there in the top 5. That's a big blow for Arix.
Massive blow for Arix. They are just getting it going, and now it's just falling by the wayside again.
Javi coming out just ahead of Sindra, so he actually done very well there, Javi. He's put in less fuel, and that's enough to get him ahead of Sindra, keep him ahead of Ahmed as well. So the net top 3 are Jensen, who is going to come out ahead still, and then Mike's going to drop a little bit further back. BX and Javi are the net top 3.
Yeah, and that's not too surprising coming into the week, but BX and Javi starting to find some form again. They've needed it. That's for certain. Cadder's got a penalty there.
Yeah.
1 second.
ERA boys pitting earlier, but going on to the mediums. Everyone else is doing another soft stint. Owen also on the mediums. Iggy's come out fresh on the mediums. So all the guys at the front are on the softs, and all the guys at the back are on the mediums.
Look at Prima Jensen's tyres here.
Yeah, really struggling. But his last lap was still a 55.1.
Doing a pretty good job. He's definitely coming in here because the fuel is out now.
Yeah, his lead might be completely removed here. So how much fuel did BX put in? Less than 50%. So if he goes for a long pit stop, BX could potentially get him. Remember, BX is in the Lexus as well. Got a lovely fuel tank on it.
Jensen went the 1 lap extra and landed on the same amount of percentage as Iggy did. That gives you a rough difference between the GTR and the Ford GT.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a little bit wide for BX, but saved it pretty well.
Already starting to refuel now on that car for Jensen. They're coming around the final corner now. Real question is how much is he putting in? 50, 54, so he's definitely going to come out in the lead here, I think.
Yes. He's out already. The lead has definitely shrank. It shrank by about 3 seconds. But now he's got the fresher tyres as well, so he can start extending that again. Jakey is up into 8th. Mike is still in the pits. So he was quite a way back. He's going to come out in P11, it looks like. So just ahead of... just behind Iggy. Very close to Iggy. Iggy just getting that. Then there's a gap of 4.6 now to Vigo, who's put in a lot of fuel. Which I think is the right thing to do. He'll be able to refuel much less and potentially jump people in the pits later on if he can catch the pack.
He's also potentially doing a stop less depending on how long they're going to take this group, this fuel tank, tires and all that stuff. But yeah, they've done. We've seen some do 10 laps. If they do 10 laps on the softs again here, then they would have to do 15 on the mediums to end, which will obviously play a little bit further back into guys like Mike's hand if they end on the softs, which is usually what you want to do. Get as little fuel in the car as possible, run the softs for as long as you can. And,
what's going on here between these Falcon boys? Ahmed, I think, is looking for the move. I mean, his softs are much fresher than Syndra's. Remember, Syndra did pit earlier for a big undercut.
not entirely sure, but the front three are definitely the front three now. They've got themselves a gap.
Yes.
Javi's going after BX now, actually, is the bigger thing that's about to come to the front here anyway.
Yeah, it's taken a few rounds, but we're finally seeing what we're used to seeing. Javi versus BX right at the front of the field, separated by just a second.
Yeah.
Slim's recovered beautifully as well. I know these guys are all on the softs and they've still got to go onto the mediums at some point, but he is back up into 6th after his issue.
Yeah, but Slim also pitted fairly early and potentially had an extra stop to make. So we'll wait and see how that plays out for Slim, who has managed to get himself back up in a 6th, but if you have to make that extra stop, that 6th is going to turn into a 12 real quick.
Yeah. Oh, here he comes!
They've come together!
It was fine. Let's see how much that actually... is he actually defending against his teammate there? He moved into the middle. I don't know. Well, they've lost 1.2 on the previous fastest by doing that.
This is what Papaya Rules is meant to be.
And here comes Slim. Slim is absolutely going to capitalise on this. He's got fresher tyres than Syndra as well. Needs to be picking off these Falcon boys. They don't want to lose ground to Falcon in the championship. Now that they've got this brand new shiny driver up at P1.
Yeah, that's a Falcon's going to put up big numbers today, regardless of what Slim's going to be able to do about it. That's for certain. But it looks, Syndra and Slim are probably fighting for actual position in this race.
Absolutely.
Because they both pitted early. Here comes Slim to the inside. He got it. He managed to get that car stopped.
There was no contact. That was impressive. Slim absolutely on a charge now. They know that their teammate has disconnected and they really need to pick up the points. The other two are in the top 5. It could have been 3 in the top 6 with how good Alessandro was also doing, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. The gap's still around about 3.5 at this front though.
Yeah. It's not really going very many places, that gap at the front, but I don't think Jensen cares too much at the moment. This is exactly where he wants this race to be.
Yeah.
The more that he can control it, the better. It is for Falcon as well for that measure, because it stops BX and Javi really putting the pressure on as well.
Yeah. Iggy's lost that position to Mike, but Mike's on the softs. So he really needs to be chasing down these medium-tired cars, because Owen's on the mediums, Kaz is on the mediums, Jakey's on the mediums, and then it's not until Perry that you start getting the group of cars back on the soft tyres. Actually, Jakey's doing fantastic being the highest medium car, only 2.6 off the back of Perry.
Yeah, and obviously that'll swing back later on, depending on what kind of strategy everyone's doing.
Yeah. Milius, to answer your question, there are 2 points for the fastest lap in Lobby A and 1 point for the fastest lap in Lobby B. So if you think about Aura getting the fastest lap and winning, yeah, he could still score 13 points in Lobby B with the win and the fastest lap. So winning Lobby B is still pretty good. It still gives you some good points.
Yeah, it's obviously just
it'll be more than Vigo if Vigo stays 13th, for example.
Yeah, it's just a little bit disheartening when you see what a driver that could have easily won this race.
Oh, imagine being a Lobby B driver and you're just settling into a normal, night driving against people that are the same pace as you, and then you got Aura steaming past and potentially putting a lap on you as well.
Yeah,
it's not good for the self-esteem. That's for sure.
It's certainly a situation being Perry got half-second per penalties there. It won't matter because no one's winning forever of him. Kaza also went Jakey.
Jakey's got damage. Something's happened. He's down in 12th right after. He lost it on the exit. That is brutal. That is very, very unlucky. He's dropped positions, 3 positions, but 2 of them, actually 4 positions. 2 of them were to teammates and 2 were to Aero drivers. So another driver to add onto the list of people who've had spins tonight, which is happening a lot more than we've seen in previous rounds. So I don't know what's going on. I don't have Lago down as a track where you make lots of spins.
Yeah, I was saying, Lago is not a track that makes you get a lot of mistakes of that kind of caliber, to be completely honest.
Yes.
Usually the only mistake there is the gravel on the outside, so maybe it might have been something to do with that. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting choice Well, it's not a choice to spin, but it's certainly an interesting kind of mistake to make.
Yeah, and now Vigo's gonna catch up. Vigo's got more fuel. They're both on medium type. Oh! Saved it.
Vigo's gonna catch up. Nearly spins.
Right. Let's not commentate on Vigo because I keep cursing people right now. Let's just let him find his rhythm. He does have medium tires, and he is pushing very hard to try and catch up to Jakey right now. We do have.
That's 3-second time penalty for someone there. I'm not entirely sure who that was.
Oh, it's for Mike. How'd you get a 3-second?
Doesn't look like he's pit recently, so he just made a bunch of mistakes, maybe.
That is absolutely huge. This has been a rotten couple of laps for ERA. Jakey's potentially going to get past as well. Here comes Jakey, yeah.
They're potentially about it. Here comes Vigo potentially as well.
Yeah, and now Vigo has 2 ERA drivers right in front that he can get in front of. Remember, these are the top 2 teams in the championship, passing under yellow. Was there a yellow flag out? I don't remember seeing.
I didn't see a yellow flag, so maybe it would make sense. That is usually the standard.
Yeah, but we were watching, and Mike was just. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It might have happened a little bit earlier in the lap.
Yeah,
if
we must have missed it.
We just missed it. Yeah.
During the Vigo spin. Anyway.
A yellow flag. The Vigo spin. Unless we missed that, that would be a very quick yellow flag. Like
Mike is on the
second.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike is on the soft, so he needs to get past his teammate. I think this will be a coordinated overtake here. What can Vigo do about it?
If he got sense, he's going to try and follow through that hole that was momentarily created.
Yeah, that was very well coordinated by ERA. It didn't allow him to have a look in here. But he doesn't want to get caught up by these guys. If I was Jakey, I'd potentially be thinking about slowing down a little bit and holding up Vigo. But it's all he's also racing for the maximum points himself, so I don't know. That's something to consider.
The choice you make there, if you sacrifice Jakey and Vigo gets him, that's not a 2-point swing, that's a 4-point.
Yeah.
That's not. It's a larger point swing in the opposite direction. Because Vigo obviously is driving for the team directly below you. The team that are trying to catch you in this championship. So, I mean, you kind of want to hold him back, but at the same time, you kind of got to stay in front of him at all costs.
Yeah, he's not holding back anyway. He's clearly driving flat out. Lugi's actually closed the gap now to 3 seconds on these guys as well with all that. So back to the front anyway. It looks like we've got a nice little battle between VX and Javi finally. Javi's closed up to 0.3 of a second as we're finishing the 16th lap.
Yeah, Javi, a little bit of a slide, a little
bit
of a controlled slide down.
That was great.
To be honest with you. It enhanced his corner, hindered it. He will have a shot at BX at some point here. The real question is he going to be able to take that shot at BX? We've seen these two fight out plenty of times before. So they are very well accustomed to each other. They know what their driving styles are like. So the question now is, when is that opportunity going to open up for Javi? And is he going to be in a position to be able to take that opportunity? Gets a nice run to the inside here. This might be it. This might be the opportunity he's going to get.
His tyres are fresher, and he really took advantage of that on the exit. Yeah. He's going to have to chuck it down the inside, under braking. Is BX going to leave in the room? He tries to pinch him. He gives him enough space. BX has to take a really wide exit, and Javi was able to floor it. BX is still there.
There's a little bit of contact on the way through here, but we saw this Slim earlier. The potential movement here is doable. Javi trying to go with a little bit of a switchback attempt there, but either way, BX holds on for now. They go up the hill, back towards this long straight.
Here he comes again.
This is interesting. This is the point that Javi is going to fancy himself. He's got to make it now. Down towards this hairpin S corner to the inside with the better braking.
Such late braking as well.
Should be able to get this. Does get it. Yep.
That was an overtake about 4 corners in the making.
Yeah, he had. It was all about the opportunity. He created the opportunity early, and then BX obviously held him off into the S's, but the issue...
Here he comes!
Oh, he's going for it! BX
what
retaliating!
A move! Javi's going to come back again.
A little bit of contact on the way through!
Yeah, but Javi's got it. Another overtake between the pair of them.
another classic battle between Javi and BX to the
Yeah.
list, with Ahmed now involved as well.
So Ahmed just half a second behind BX. Still in with a great shout of the podium here. Syndra down in 7th, coming into the pits with completely dead tyres. He's been lapping in the 56s and 57s. So he's been struggling these last couple of laps. And this is where we're going to start seeing the pack getting jumbled up as people on 3 stops will be coming in for the second. A lot of the drivers on the softs at the front won't be staying out for too much longer. I think one of them might be BX. His front right is around about 45% worn now.
Having gapped him by 9/10 of a second, by the
Yeah.
way. As for Syndra, I'm interested in what tyre he's gone onto because there's 18 laps here. He's just done, I think it was 10 or 11 on the soft, so 18 isn't out the question for mediums. He might go to the end from here.
Yeah, very possible. Let's actually see where he comes out.
Owen and Kaz are here fighting out 4/10 of a second, with Iggy right behind Owen as well.
Oh yeah,
But,
nice little battle shaping up here. Kaz's tyres are a lot more worn because we saw the Aero boys come in earlier than everyone else.
Yeah, which means Owen should have an opportunity open up to him. So, and BX has dropped down a position. I don't know whether or not he's pit, but Ahmed got him.
Ahmed overtook him. Let's see what happened there. Just a straightforward overtake into the hairpin.
Yeah, same thing Javi did to him on the prior lap.
So he's not fighting it on the inside, BX. Tried to get the switch back and it failed.
Ahmed will take that every day of the week.
And then Ahmed still managed to stay ahead, so BX didn't try another banzai move into that corner like he did on Javi. So the top 4 are miles ahead of P5, who's currently Perry. Getting chased down by Slim. This is another important battle. Slim coming into the pit, so trying to get the undercut on Perry now. Oof, a little bit on the grass there for Kaz. We saw some dust being kicked up. Is he carrying on? He is on his mediums. He doesn't have to come in anytime soon.
Yeah, these guys are all going to stay out because they're going to do like the better part of 18 apiece on him, on these tyres realistically. I am very intrigued to see this scenario. Oh, penalty for Jakey there with Vigo right behind him. So Vigo will get a position there, and that means he's going to get a real nice lineup of Mike sooner rather than later. Is FGR Vigo, so positions going in the favour of FGR right now.
Yep. So Iggy up in 8th at the moment on the mediums, lapping with the pack. Driver's won how many titles at this point? He's won over 10 titles in ALR, drivers' titles across, well, just in GT alone, but also in WRC. I think he's won a title or 2 as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, enough to, well, he's had enough titles to his name now to have his number retired and then seemingly unretired.
Unretired and handed off, and now he's got a new number. But
it's just incredible. You know, the reason precisely the reason why the number was retired in the first place, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
GT7 is penalty. There goes Vigo, who goes through now, takes the 10th place off of him.
Yep, and look how much fuel Vigo's got as well. He's going to be staying out so much longer than everyone else. That's going to give him a speed advantage at the end of the race if he needs to do any overtakes. So this is, like we said earlier, definitely salvageable for him of getting potentially a top 6.
I was about to say that there's 3 or 4 cars directly in front of him, all effectively on the same strategy now. Yeah. So it's definitely.
And he's catching Mike quickly. He just gained 3/10 on Mike in that one corner.
Yeah, very salvageable race for Vigo here, and in the process could potentially take all 3 ERA drivers as well.
Yeah, Owen just let Iggy through, and that might open the door for Mike because he just had a really rotten final corner. Jakey in the pits.
Oh, Mike looking for it down into turn 1.
I think your mic's got a bit quiet.
That should be good.
That's better.
That's better. All right. No, I was about to say it shouldn't be too quiet anyway. I'm not the quietest person on the planet. Oh, half-second penalty for Syndra. Jakey's coming out after him. Syndra's gone on to a medium, and yeah, Syndra's gone for the rest of the race now.
As is Slim, yeah.
So 2 stops for these guys.
Jakey's on the softs, so he's going to have to come in another time.
Yeah, something tells me you're not getting 15 out of that.
You're not getting 15 out of softs, no. So there's another. So he's going to have to do some overtaking on track. 8.8 seconds now the lead for Jensen. Lapping in the 55s again, so his softs are starting to go off.
Yeah, you can see that is under 25% there, where Javi is coming in on the end of the lap. You can see on the fuel tank there, same with BX.
Yeah.
Not going to risk one more. I don't
BX
know
is
about
really
Ahmed.
struggling now. Dropping 2.4 off the back of Ahmed.
Oh, and he's gone wide there as well. Kicked up a little bit of dirt. Might be dropping a little bit further back. Yeah, he's having a bit of a rough time now, BX.
Prima
Yeah.
Jensen carrying on for Falcon R-Lab. Bit of a mouthful. Javi's in.
Javi,
Ahmed's in.
BX is going to follow.
Yeah, just like you said.
Perry probably
Perry's
going to follow
definitely
as
going to
well.
have to come in. That's not enough fuel
Yeah.
for another. Oh, yeah.
Don't know if that was caught on the line. It's going to be very close, but it weren't. Kaza should be staying out. We've got at least one more in that tank.
Yep, him
yeah.
and Iggy. Iggy's got so much in the tank. He can stay out for a very, very long time. So this is looking good for Iggy. Owen slightly less fuel.
Iggy's in a very similar position to Vigo behind him. In terms of the fuel tank, going to be able to go an extra couple of
Whoa,
laps.
there's a bit of
potentially.
contact between Ahmed and Lugi into turn 1. Ahmed coming out of the pits. Lugi's going to keep the position, so no harm done there. But a bit of an issue for Ahmed, who's come out on fresh mediums. And Lugi's right in the pack with half a tank of fuel as well, so he's brought himself right back into it.
Yeah, going to go on to softs at some point in the near future.
BX down out in 10th place right now.
Oh, we've got a bunch of battles going on at the front there. If you look at the front of the picture, I think that was Kaza and Iggy. Yeah, you're right. It happened there. So Iggy's got in front of Kaza. Owen there as well. There's a couple of people fighting in the background. Didn't realise that.
My finger slipped.
I think it was Vigo and Mike. I think might have been the actual battle in the background as they headed towards.
Oh,
the
here we
exits.
go.
There might
Mike.
be about resume that fight.
Yeah, Mike's tyres are completely gone at this point. So what's he going to do? Is he even going to bother defending this one? Lexus versus Supra. The Supra is going to win there if you pull out of the slipstream that early. So that's going to keep Mike ahead for now. Vigo still with a quarter tank.
Exit.
Yeah, looking for a good exit there. Jensen in the pits now. He's going to probably be in and out comfortably ahead of all these guys. Javi has some clear air at least for himself.
Yeah, it's what Ahmed does not. Which was what my original point was going to be when we were watching down at turn 3. Is going to be that Ahmed's going to lose us an absolute chunk of time now. Javi should be very clear in second for a large remainder of this race unless there's a mistake coming. Mike and Vigo going at it.
Yeah.
Mike's peering off into the pits. Kaza's come into the pits as well. Vigo staying out. Yeah, and Javi, Lugi, so he's still ahead of Ahmed.
Iggy and Owen up into second and third at the moment.
Look, there's a few of these drivers, Vigo, Owen, Iggy, all looking for potential overcuts. Try and get onto the top of the end and then make up whatever gap they have to make up at that point. Ahmed is really not going at this right now.
Yeah, he's not. BX only a second behind now, so he before the pits he gapped him by almost 3 seconds. So Ahmed definitely getting held up.
Yeah,
Slim right behind Perry as well. So despite pitting a little bit earlier, Slim wasn't able to get an undercut done on Perry. And Sintra down in 11th.
Oh, Slim.
Yeah, a lot of hairy moments there.
Yeah, both at the same time up the hill. They didn't get the greatest of exits at all. Probably gives Perry a little bit of breathing room. But they are, as you say, about 8 seconds behind Lugi and BX. Lugi's dropped down, by the way. Ahmed and BX have got past Lugi. Up ahead. That's actually
Oh, they're actually side by side. I was going to try and see what happened. Oh, so BX is going to come alongside here.
Yeah, BX.
Looks like the move's done, so how does Lugi get back?
A really nice exit. That's
Yeah.
he's going to try around the outside. Obviously, that's where the thing, and then we'll bring him back to
BX won it.
Real time.
So it wasn't quite enough. BX, our pole sitter, down in 7th at the moment. We've got Owen in the pit, so he's the first of these guys to come in. He was on the mediums. Can you get 13 laps out of the soft tyres? Lugi follows him in as well.
It's going to be very interesting. Lugi's got a lot less time to fuel, by the way. He might be about to jump Owen and company in this one. When they come out the pits, you see that Lugi... It's
gonna be close, actually. It depends if he underfuels compared to Owen. Owen with 64%, Lugi with 65%, so Owen is gonna come out.
Mediums for... Okay,
just
so
ahead of Kazza.
Soft.
Owen's on the soft at the end. Kazza's got a second penalty.
This is interesting. You got Lugi on the mediums.
Lugi's on the mediums, is he?
I believe he was. You can.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's on the mediums. Oh, so that is an interesting choice.
Oh no!
Oh, Kazza's lost the car.
Oh, and through goes Mike as well.
And to the back of the grid goes Kazza.
And he's got a second penalty. That's brutal. So yeah, we were saying FGR's had an unlucky day. I think it's safe to say ERA is having a very unlucky day because Vigo's all of a sudden up in 3rd. Yes, he has to make another pit stop, but he's put on some really solid pace, and he's only 2.4 behind Iggy as well, who we know how quick Iggy is. So he's definitely putting in a shift right now on these very worn medium tyres, and he's probably going to keep going and put on the softs for the end and be lightning quick in some of these overtakes. Oh, that's what he's hoping.
Don't forget, he's also got to put substantially less fuel in for the amount of fuel he's got right now. He's going to have like 3 or 4 laps less to put in than everyone else when they
Same with Iggy.
So, in reality, there's a chance that realistically Vigo gets himself that 7th-ish place, 6th, 7th place that he was looking at prior. We will see how it unfolds. Jake is potentially going after... Jakey's not going to be able to go to the end from here. Not even close. So Jakey's got another pit stop. And
yeah.
Given the fact that he's currently the highest driver in ERA today, it's not a good sign in any way, shape or form.
No, another pit stop.
Still has to stop.
Yeah, it would drop him to the back, but he, so he has to get these overtakes done. His whole strategy is kind of dependent on not being held up by these guys on medium tyres as well. So he's doing medium pace on a very short soft stint.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier that about Lobby B being able to outscore positions in Lobby A, and I want to home back to that point a minute, because as it stands, if Laura is in fact winning, I don't actually know, and would be very surprised if he's not. If he's doing that and getting the 13 points on Lobby B, then it will be the case that he still beats an ERA driver or two.
Oh well, yeah,
and
exactly.
It won't be as damaging as first thought.
Yeah, so if Ruppy and Aura, for example, both get podiums in Lobby B, and these guys are finishing outside the top 10, all 3 of them, which is potentially what we're seeing play out here, then it's just, well, they're both going to probably score a similar amount of points, with Vigo scoring solidly, and it's just going to bring the other 3 teams, Project Platypus, Arix, and Falcon, right into the championship mix.
Yeah, Falcon in particular, the point to your, like the explanation point to your point, given the fact that they've got Syndra, they've got Ahmed, and they've got Jensen, who's currently winning the race. So
here he goes.
Double podium here.
Round the outside, can he do it on these soft tyres? Looks like he just kept it on the track. But yeah, too many right-hand corners there to make that work. That was a really impressive attempt, though.
I was about to say, it looked like the car got just enough unsettled on that curb on the outside there, that just hindered his ability to turn in onto that final right-hander, and that will kind of stop the overtake in its tracks. The issue is now is that the longer he stays behind here, obviously the more the tyres are overheating as well, and if the tyres start overheating, they're going to wear a lot more. So he's going to lose the ability to try and make these overtakes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, his tyres are wearing a little bit quicker, which means they're going to lose their shine and start to equalise, as all of them go incredibly wide there.
Yeah, Sidra Loft had a half spin on his car there, though. You see it in the grass.
That's the Gen X.
Yeah. yeah, he hit the grass. Obviously, it's not what you want to do. You can take that wide line that you hit in the grass, and as we saw with a couple of cars earlier in that position, you kind of just get stunted. And well, we saw, I believe it was it Kazo or was it Vigo earlier that span in that position at the beginning of the race at turn 4.
Yeah, that was Vigo. And speaking of Vigo, he's started to get caught by Javi. These aren't really battling for position on track, so I'm not sure how hard Vigo is going to be fighting this. He's probably got one more lap in him.
He has caught about a second on Iggy since the last time he's paid attention to his battle, though.
Yeah.
It's now 1.6, so what about 2.4 if I remember right the last time he visited it.
10 laps to go now, so that's 10 laps on soft is doable. Iggy's coming in. Vigo's is doing the one more lap like we thought.
Okay, this is going to be fairly interesting then. Iggy couldn't do the extra lap because of his shield tank, so Vigo's going to have a lot less to put in than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's certain. So, and a lot of fresh tyres towards the end as well. So it's just going to be a case of how much time does he have to make up.
You can see how he's getting held up in these corners now. He's lifting and he's delaying his throttle. With a good exit here, this could be a fairly straightforward overtake. It looks like he's got a bit of a run on Vigo.
This might be it. He's going to look to the inside here. He's going to look to the inside. Vigo's going the long way
he has to back out of it.
Vigo's still defending it.
Yeah, great
Fair
defending
play
there from Vigo. Turned in at the right point to stop Javi's advances.
Fair play. At that point, he's also got Javi's losing that gap just a little bit here and there to Ahmed, so that might bring Ahmed back into a potential top two. There is a slight potential, the longer that Vigo stays here, that Ahmed might be able to complete a 1-2 for our lap, and that would be massive in this championship.
Yeah, he's 1.9 seconds away from it. We were saying at the start, is it going to be a Falcon day after we've seen 3 different teams dominate the 3 different rounds? It looks like a 4th different team in a 4th different round is going to dominate.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, there's definitely classed as a Falcon day unless some sort of disaster happens.
Oh, you said it
in
now.
The next 9 or 10 laps, and yeah, I definitely have said it now, but I still don't see it. I still don't see a way that multiple drivers are going to falter at this late stage.
Vigo signaling he's going into the pits now. Makes a lot of sense. Javi's going to give him the space before he can finally join. 14 seconds down on P1. Both of them out on mediums to the end with the exact same level of fuel in the car. Only 1.6 is the gap to Ahmed now, so Javi definitely losing a lot of time there. Stuck behind the FGR driver. Let's stick with him and see where he comes out.
Yeah, and this is the interesting part, because obviously Slim and company have gone to the end. Their tyres are going to be very, very worn, and Vigo is going to put in the fuel and the tyres to go to the end on the softs. He's come out right behind Iggy.
Right behind Owen, yeah.
He's ahead of Luigi, which is what the car that he was fighting originally. So he's ahead of Luigi. He's up into 11th.
Owen's on softs that are slightly more worn. Iggy's are only 1 lap more worn than his. So Owen might struggle a bit more towards the end.
The fuel tank is a little bit left of Vigo as well.
Yeah, that makes sense for the Lexus.
It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Vigo is going to be able to get these 2 in particular, and even more so, will they be able to catch up to the tyres that will eventually die up here?
Yeah. And speaking of tyres that are dying, we've got Jakey, who is the last person who's going to have to make a pit stop. And the rest of the field are all a little bit too close to him. He is going to drop to the back, but he's going to be on the freshest tyres on the field to try and get some positions.
Sindra and Slim in front of that.
Kaz, every time we see it, he seems to have a penalty and drop behind Mike, and then somehow manages to get above him. So he's going to be serving that the next lap.
A good day for ERA. You look at that, so they're going to be the bottom 3 in this lobby, which is a massive, massive swing in the opposite direction for any team that can get themselves towards the front here.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, the ERA are still your championship leaders coming into today. So through 3 weeks, halfway through the elimination phase, is the top. They had a 26-point advantage to FGR. They had I think it was like a 45-point advantage, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, to Ala Falcon. So that gap will come down quite considerably with the first, third, I think it's first, third, sixth currently.
Yeah. Jakey in the pits now, and he does drop to the back there. So that promotes Vigo up to 10th. He's right on the back of Owen. So let's stick with this little battle. It is the closest battle that we've got on track. This is a very, very good day for Aero GT. The first time this season they've got 2 drivers in Lobby A, and they're both in the top 10.
Yeah, you can see the medium drivers in front of them now, the bottom of the hill. So it's not out of the question that they catch those medium drivers either. We'll have to look at those tyres in a minute. See how they're going. But Vigo and Iggy in particular should be able to run these quite a distance without having to worry about even hitting 50%.
Yeah.
Owen not so much, because we realised that Owen had to do 13
Here we go.
in the first place.
Yeah, Vigo looking super smooth. Is that going to be a penalty for going a little bit wide there? I'm not too sure, but he's lost all of his momentum on Owen. I think he got away with it. Yeah,
I think
no penalty there.
I think I'd say the slide definitely helped him avoid the penalty, because it kind of stopped any momentum.
Stops the full throttle.
He might go! He doesn't go. Iggy got a little bit of gravel there.
He just gained all of the time that he lost, though, back onto Owen. Only a quarter of a second down. Maybe we'll see a move like what BX did with a really late one into the inside of this corner, which he can get away with. Not this time. Oh, Pyro's left the party. It's just me. I think his internet might have disconnected. Looks like everything else is still going fine here. So let's do a quick rundown of what the current situation is. We've got Jensen up in P1. He's got a 15-second gap on Javi now. Javi's 2 seconds ahead of Ahmed. So now that Javi isn't being held back, he is starting to gap Ahmed. All of them on the medium tyres, all looking fairly comfortable. BX also on the mediums, looking fairly comfortable for the rest of the race. Same with Perry, but he's getting caught a little bit by Syndra. Another one on the mediums. And then Slim also on the mediums. So the top 7 all on the mediums, but with a huge 5-second gap to Iggy, the highest soft place driver. And then we got Owen and Vigo, which we're going to join again because Vigo hasn't got past, but Owen hasn't done anything to get away from him either.
No, he hasn't. And I just dropped out for a minute then.
Yeah, Vigo,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, Iggy's gonna need about a second a lap to catch up to those medium tyre runners. Perry's had an exceptional day at the office right now. If he can get hit from this race, I think Project Platypus would be over the moon with that scenario.
Owen a little bit out of shape, and he's out of shape again here. Vigo has to, well, I don't know what kind of corner he decided to take there, but it lost all of his momentum. He's going to get a better exit through these last couple of sections of those corners. He's got a bit of overspeed, but he's still a quarter of a second down on Owen. Yeah, and he's
surprised if we see him move here. No, he's not.
Next corner.
Owen a little bit wide and then slid on the exit as well.
Owen's tyre is approaching around about 35% worn now, and Vigo's are hardly worn at all. So this is really, and also Iggy's just driven completely away from both of them.
Yeah. Vigo needs to get past Owen to try and put a stamp down against Iggy. That's the scenario that Vigo now finds himself in. Otherwise, 9th is about as good as he's going to get. The charge behind realistically won't have much of a bearing on this anymore. In terms of the battle for the top 10, I think this is it. I think this is the point where he has to.
Here we go.
Vigo has to go for this down the inside into turn 1. He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. He is going to go for it, but he's not really made an authoritative move for it. As he goes through turn 2, still on the outside.
Ooh, Owen got a much better exit. Yeah, the door was shut, and Owen did a fantastic bit of defending there to keep the position. He's it's not over yet, though.
It felt somewhat half-hearted, that from Vigo, rather than an actual...
you know what? I think Owen just, again, took so much speed around the outside into turn 1 that it was made impossible, but here we go.
Again.
Ooh.
Owen might have sacrificed his line a little bit here.
Yeah, he's going to get a slower exit than Vigo, but he's going defensive again into every single corner now, Owen. He has no choice. And this is good for Iggy as well, his teammate. He's holding up this driver who's on the freshest tyres.
He got him. He got him. Oh,
no, he hasn't!
Oh, Owen just squeezed him enough to get
Vigo
him
having to
back
go
out.
down into third gear. That's why he lost so much speed there.
Yeah, he had to back out because he saw Owen ahead. I was convinced that he would try and launch that on the inside. That's why I thought he was going to get it. He's done a very good job there.
Yeah.
To hold on for dear life at this point is what Owen's doing.
Meanwhile, Slim's actually lost a position to Syndra. On quite worn mediums here. And yeah, Syndra's gapped him by about a second. Still 3 seconds down from Perry. So we still might see 3 Falcons in the top 5 if he could catch Perry by around about majority of a second a lap. He could do it.
Yeah. Definitely to get there and overtake him. Same for Iggy in the same kind of boat. When Iggy's about 3 seconds off the back of Slim. So, yeah, they both need just shy of a second a lap, realistically, to make a real good move at this. This is a far better exit from Vigo. This has to be it, surely. Down into turn 1, maybe a little bit of a late break this time. He doesn't go for the late break either. But this time he's significantly further ahead.
Oh, they're crawling around the corner and he's trying to go around the outside. Oh, and it's a carbon copy of the previous lap. And yeah, just going for that inside line, not working out round turn 1, which is a bit of a surprise. But Owen knows how to take that turn 1. Yeah.
That's a significantly better exit. Also, Lugi is now involved in this fight. Because
yeah, Lugi's coming in as well.
Job. Here we go. This has got to be a move. Owen slid his car. This is the opportunity. Yeah. You won't get a better one than this. Owen slid his car. This is going to open up the 2 wide through the S's. Owen on the inside. Slides his car. Gives a little bit of contact to Vigo on the way through, but Vigo slides his car. Owen straight to Owen and does get it. Does eventually get it.
They survive.
Either driver had much control of their car whatsoever in that exchange. But they get Vigo gets the move done eventually.
Yeah, that was an overtake about 6 or 7 laps in the making for Vigo. Owen's now got a job on his hands to keep up his position in 10th. Remember, he was only a second or 2 behind Iggy. Iggy's 7 ahead of Vigo. That's how much time Owen's lost and why his position in the top 10 is now under threat.
Yeah, Owen has well and truly handed Iggy 8th place. That's a certain, unless Iggy's going to be able to get after Slim by the end of this one. GT Ahmed is still 1.6 there behind Javi. It's not particularly over here.
Absolutely not. He's actually closing in a little bit on Javi. So Javi's tyres are a little bit better. Ahmed just seems to have a bit better pace.
It seems to be rear versus front wear on the 2 cars that were dealing with the Genesis and the Ferrari there. With them both being just over about 50% left on his tyres. That's why Ahmed is probably seeing a little bit better times than what Javi is seeing. Iggy has caught all the way up to these 2. So
yeah,
and Slim might be under fire now.
They are definitely going to come under a lot of pressure. Iggy's got so much more pace. He's lapping in the low 54s compared to the high 55s for Slim. Every corner he's just closing in by a couple of tenths.
Case of when, not if.
When might be the hairpin at the end of this straight.
Still out of sorts, just about keeping that in.
What happened to Alessandro? Alessandro unfortunately disconnected from quite a good position. I think he could have finished top 6, but he disconnected quite early, around about the first pit stops.
Well, Alessandro was right beside Javi, so he'd be a bit higher than 6th. I think you'd be more looking at the top 4.
Yeah, he was on fire in qualifying as well. So that's a massive shame, but it happens to the best of us. Now here we go. Iggy is within half a second for the first time of Slim. And if Iggy fights with these 2 and they lose a lot of time, Vigo could catch up to these 2 before the end as well.
Yeah, but there's a very good opportunity here for a top 6 finish here for Iggy. There is still, if he can get past and dispatch these 2 fairly quickly, enough time to catch Perry down the bottom of the straight there. But realistically, I don't know how much of a fight that Slim and Syndra are going to be able to put up here.
depends. It depends if the door opens. We know how good Slim is at defending.
Around here, Slim's still hanging on against Iggy. The gap is coming down fairly quickly to Vigo, by the way.
Yeah, down to 6 seconds already. That's half a second.
Yeah, we are running out of time though. He's only got 3 laps to respond to try and catch up.
Here we go.
A large amount of damage to it. Here comes Iggy to the inside of Slim.
He's going to have to be brave on the brakes.
Yeah, he is. And
yeah, done and dusted.
No
that was pretty straightforward in the end. Iggy just lining him up, and on the first attempt gets the overtake done. Textbook.
Yeah, that set him up exactly what he needed, where he needed to set him up there, and he got himself to the inside of that hairpin at the bottom of the hill, which is exactly what you need to do, and Iggy's about to do the same thing to Syndra, possibly the next lap. Also, it's 5 seconds to the dot now between Vigo and
it's coming down very quickly. Vigo is absolutely on fire on these soft tyres. They're less worn than Slim's mediums as well, because Slim's been out on these tyres for quite a while. Iggy's now trying to catch up to Syndra. Let's just see what's happening at the top 2. Still around about 1.5 seconds, so Ahmed not able to put any real serious pressure on Javi, but he has gapped BX by another second. So BX in no man's land, Perry a little bit in no man's land as well. And then we've got this big battle for the top 6. Iggy finished 6th in Deep Forest, so he might be about to repeat that as well.
Yeah, it would be a nice little point gain for Aero GT, albeit they need more than this to try and catch up on what they've already lost. Lugi got a half-second penalty, but he got past Owen as well. Owen, we knew, was going to start to struggle towards the end here, because his tyres going 13 is impressive in its own right.
Yeah, he has to be careful, because he's only got 2.4 on Jakey, who's on very fresh softs. Well, I was expecting them to be a little bit more than half one.
I'd say very fresh,
less than half one.
Very fresh softs is a bit of an over description of what
he pitted last, but I think he's shredding these softs, so he's definitely pushing quite hard. Vigo, now the gap is 3.8 to Slim. He's only got a lap and a half to do it, but this is some insane pace.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. They could take any point they will get right now, SGR, after everything that happened earlier on.
Yeah.
Syndra's doing a good job of holding E behind, because you got to remember that that clock is now very much ticking. And essentially, being in this position where you've got, 1.5 laps left at most?
Yeah.
You've got 3 overtaking spots left here for Iggy, realistically, for most. So you realistically got to get something done quickly if you want that 6th position off of Syndra. Also, Perry is dropping back towards E2. He's a lot closer than he was prior.
He is, but still 3.9. It should be okay with a lap to go. He's just managing his pace. He's been lucky, Perry. He's with this soft medium strategy, or was it soft medium? I can't quite remember. He's managed to get the clear air that some of the other guys haven't been so lucky with, and that's that's allowed him to be in the top 5. So 2 Project Platypus drivers in the top 5 as we approach our final lap. Prima Jensen is actually on his final lap. The gap is 17.5 on Javi. Javi's been lapping pretty solidly in the 55s for the last 10 laps in a row, so that's pretty consistent. Same for Ahmed as well, down to 1.2 seconds on this final lap.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too far away, I think, here for Ahmed. Realistically, Iggy's got 2 more shots at making this move on Syndra. 3 in the top 6 would be massive for Falcon if they can get this. If Syndra can hold on for dear life here. Iggy's sliding the cars.
Both of them having a bit of a traction moment there. And he's going for it.
He's gone. He's not got it.
He couldn't do it.
Out immediately.
Yeah, Syndra shut the door beautifully. It was never really on for Iggy, so he's potentially only going to get one more chance here at the end of this straight coming up, as long as he can nail this S section.
Unless he's going to do a BX overtake into the final section of the lap. This really is it. This down into this hairpin is your last presentable opportunity to really make this work, as we've got someone coming around the final couple of corners now at the end of the race.
And it's not going to happen here. So let's ride on board with Jensen as he's rounding the final couple of corners. Take it away, Pyro.
Yep, and he comes toward the line, and Falcon are about to be on the board, and Jensen is going to win in Lago Maggiore. And it's a great day at the office here for Falcon. As they come toward the line, Jensen takes first, third. It looks like Ahmed's going to have to settle for third, because Javi is coming to the line in second, 1.2 up, and Javi is getting second. Ahmed rounds out the podium, a double podium on a great day for our lab. Bianchi's going to round in fourth. He's unthreatened. He gets fourth there. Perry is about to make it a Project Platypus 4-5. It's a great day for him. Sindra holding on for dear life. Does hold on against Diggy, with Vigo to the line, just beaten out by Slim.
That was crazy. 0.035 of a second separating Slim and Vigo at the end. He did manage to catch that ridiculous gap to Slim on his fresh tyres. Lugi 10th, Jakey 11th, Owen dropping behind one of the ERA drivers. Mikey is in 13th place, and then we got Kaza, who unfortunately just had one too many time limit penalties, dropping down to 14th in the end. And of course, Alessandro was in he gets the points for 15th because he disconnected.
Yeah, so this is a big day in the championship for both Falcon, potentially Project Platypus as well, depending on how bad a big's done. So yeah, it's a great day here, especially for Falcon. Falcon have cut that gap, no question about it. The question is, how much have they cut that gap by? Okay, actually, correction. Kaza must have made a late pit stop because he's got the fastest lap as well, so that's an extra 2 points for ERA. It's fair. At that point, it makes sense. You're not really opening up the door for anything, so if you can steal the couple of points away, then that makes sense. I'm not entirely sure who had it prior.
Jensen definitely had it for the majority of the race. Yeah, I think it was set early on. I wasn't paying attention because I thought it wasn't going to get beaten, to be honest. So that's a really good final lap there from Kaza, showing his qualifying pace in the race, and that is a little bit of damage limitation for ERA. Absolutely no idea where that leaves the championship. I've been told that FGR finished 1-2 in Lobby B, it looks like, potentially. That's what ESPORTS said anyway in the chat. So that would be 13 points for Aura and potentially 10 points for Ruppy if that's where they finished. So that's 23 points to add on to the 9 for Vigo, and then the P9 for Vigo, actually. Well, we'll just have to wait and see when I do the standings. Good day for Arix, good day for Project Platypus, good day for Falcon, good day for Aero GT. Yeah,
I personally think that everyone has just got a significant amount closer in that top 5. The issue is for everyone outside of that top 5, that might be fate all but officially sealed.
Yeah, there does seem to be a big gap this season between the top 5 and the rest. And the top 5 are just cleaning up and getting all the big points. Even if they're in Lobby B, they're tending to win it. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, can't save, unfortunately. Never mind. Didn't want to anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow we are back with Monday League. We've got St. Croix Layout A, Tier 1 will be live tomorrow evening with Vexed. And then the rest will be following later on in the week. So yeah, it'll be pretty exciting. So yeah, apart from that, next week we are in, where are we?
Tokyo South.
Tokyo South layout. So that's going to be a pretty exciting one. Really high speed track. Plenty of opportunity to throw it into the walls as well, which we'll no doubt see. So yeah, join us then. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, in a bit.